It's been an exciting week on Bring a Trailer with Jeep CJ-7s. If you subscribe to the channel, you may have seen this activity on my feed with a couple of the shorts I posted this week. First, we had this beautifully restored 1985 CJ-7 Laredo in California that sold for $32,000. Then to really make things exciting, we had this last year model 1986 CJ-7 that went for big money. Well, now, as if on cue, everyone and their brother is coming out of the woodwork with their CJs, and we have a special one for you this week. This is why I love Bring a Trailer. So as if the two exceptional restored examples weren't enough, we now have a 1982 Jeep CJ-7 Jamboree Edition live on Bring a Trailer. The Jamboree Edition is a commemorative edition with approximately 630 models made for the 1982 year model. We're gonna have fun with this one, exploring the ins and outs on what makes the Jamboree unique. I expect significant interest in this beautifully restored CJ. But before we launch into today's example, if you're new to the channel, I'm Trey, and this is Vintage 4-Wheel Auctions. We vet all the active truck and 4x4 category auctions on Bring a Trailer and highlight only the top tier of vehicles from that segment. So if you're in the vintage SUV market, you'll want to keep an eye on these auctions. With each video, our objective is to discuss what to look for in a vintage SUV and what to avoid. Our hope is that this simple video format encourages interaction with viewers on vehicle condition and any price points. So today we're going to be reviewing a 1982 Jeep CJ-7 Jamboree Edition 5-speed. As we mentioned, this is a very rare Jeep, and we're going to get into a lot more detail later in the video. This one's got 132,000 miles shown in the auction list, that 5,000 miles were put on by this current seller. This Jambo, as they're affectionately known, was equipped with a 4.2-liter inline-six with a 5-speed manual transmission and a dual-range transfer case. This Jambo is finished in gold metallic paint with black vinyl upholstery and has a black removable hardtop. We'll definitely make sure to cover more of these options for the Jambos in the history section of the video, so definitely stay tuned. The bid on this one is currently at $12,500, and there are 19 comments on the auction. You'll definitely want to keep an eye on this one because this is the first Jambo listed on Bring a Trailer in 5 years. All right, so before we get into the pros and cons of this 1982 Jeep CJ-7 Jamboree, we want to spend some time going through what makes this Jeep unique. We see here from the Jambo Registry website that this is a commemorative edition that was produced for the 1982 model year. The idea behind this special edition was to honor the 30th anniversary of the Jeepers Jamboree off-road event. This is an awesome off-road event that's been held on the Rubicon Trail since 1953. The Jamboree also had a price tag that reflected its unique stature. Now, the base model CJ-7 cost around $8,000 out the door, while the fully loaded Jambo with accessories would add an additional $5,000. So roughly a 63% premium over the base CJ-7. Essentially, with the options and pricing premium, this was the Jeep Rubicon before the Jeep Rubicon, and a lot more rare. So you may be asking, other than the price tag, what makes a Jambo unique? So what it boils down to is what differentiated the Jambo versus other CJs was this very limited production run of only approximately 630 units. Of those, 560 were finished in topaz gold metallic. If you want even more exclusivity, it's estimated around 70 Jambos were finished in Olympic white later in the production run. Additional features include Jamboree hood lettering, chrome wheels, chrome bumpers and bumperettes, black soft top, black rocker trim, and special Jamboree spare tire cover. Now, the most notable interior features on a Jambo were special black bucket seats with gold inserts and a number plaque indicating the number of production. Little nugget of history, the Jamboree Edition was the only AMC Jeep to ever be specially numbered. The other way to confirm authenticity of a Jambo is by a special trim code 1EN on the firewall VIN tag. We'll definitely be looking for these identifiers during the picture review section of the video. Now let's get back to this auction that's live on Bring a Trailer. Let's look at the pros and cons of this 1982 Jeep CJ-7 Jamboree Edition 5-speed. First, with the pros, from a collectability standpoint, you cannot get much better than this. We already learned that only roughly 630 Jeep CJ-7 Jamborees were ever produced. To make this rig even more unique, the Jambo Registry estimates that only 160 out of the original 630 are still in existence. This one also underwent a body-off refurbishment. It included an overhaul of the 4.2-liter inline-six, a a repaint where the Jambo was disassembled, stripped, primed, and repainted in 2017. At the time, they also did a refresh of the interior. Additional work during the refurbishment included placing metal overlays in the floors. Damage to the right fender was repaired, and a rust preventative coating was applied to the underbody during the process. Other work performed under the seller's ownership included replacement of the front and rear shocks, the front right wheel bearing and brake calipers, radiator, ignition switch, air filter, and an oil change was performed under current ownership. So the first con we see with the 1982 CJ-7 Jamboree is the CARFAX report lists damage to the right side in an October 2007 entry. We'll definitely make sure to look at this with greater detail in the CARFAX review section of the video. The seller also noted paint flaws around the vehicle, which will be shown in close-up photos. The only other con with the Jambo is very minor. The auction noted that climate control indicators on the dash don't illuminate, which is very normal for a 40-year-old Jeep. While we have a few cons with this 82 Jamboree, I don't see anything that indicates that it'll impact bidding in a meaningful way. Now, for a 40-year-old vehicle, this has a pretty impressive paper trail when it comes to the CARFAX. You have entries dating back to 1991 with the CJ-7 Jamboree. The first entries show ownership in California, and then it moves to Missouri in 1997. Now, this one has been exempt from odometer readings since that moved to Missouri in 1997. I've seen this before. This could be a DMV clerical error where they title it either mileage unknown or mileage exempt, even though it's true mileage. Really, this is nothing that would concern me from a mileage standpoint, especially since this has undergone a mechanical and cosmetic refurbishment. Now, there was an accident noted in 2007. I have to think if there was anything major, it would have been addressed at the time. Otherwise, I don't think this current owner would consider this a good candidate for restoration. Also, there was nothing noted as far as a branded or salvage title, so I have to think the damage was minor. We then see the seller take ownership of this Jambo in 2012, and then we also see inspections in 2013, 2018, and 2023. Like I said, for a 40-year-old vehicle, we do have a good sense for the ownership history of this CJ-7 Jamboree. And with the work listed in the pro section of this video, I'd feel pretty good about bidding on this one. Before we get into the pictures, we always review the comments section first. As I mentioned before in other videos, this is a best practice that can save you time when you're looking through the pictures. The Bring a Trailer audience has extensive knowledge on these marquee vehicles and will often call out areas of concern. You can take that and zero in with the review of the pictures. So going in reverse order with these comments. At the top, we've got one from the seller. I thought it had a slight tilt in the past and I've had 2 shops check the frame after it was painted to confirm the frame is straight. Photo under the carpet to follow after I get home from work. We'll see here as we go through the comments, there were a couple questions about a slight rake on this Jeep. This was in response to a question a commenter had just before this on September 21st. Picture 28 shows a pretty good tilt in the bumper in relation to the tub. Is that correct or a product of the photo angle? Also any pics of the floor work under the carpet? Thanks. Like I said, we've seen a couple comments on this, just a slight rake with this CJ-7 Jamboree. This is a sign of a good auction. You have a lot of activity from this seller. Hubs and transfer case working well. I'll put it in 4H and 4L this morning. So it's definitely been my experience. Auctions that do best have a very active seller. There was a question about a cold start video, and then we have a response from the seller. This typically takes 2 cranks to start after sitting for a few days, but I did start it each of the past couple days and we hit on the first crank. You've probably seen this on Bring a Trailer auctions. Cold start videos are highly requested. We've got a pretty important comment here. Thanks for the response. I do see in the rebuild photos, the tag is there, and I also see the painted tag stenciling to be scratched, revealing the slight outline. That should have never been painted, primered over, as that is one of the few ways to determine if it's an authentic Jamboree. I think he's referring to the special trim code that should be present on the VIN firewall. Got a commenter here that links the Jambo registry. This is important. I see now, I think that comment about painting over the firewall was in response to seller's comment here. Thanks so much for the bid. The Jeep came back from the painter with the engine tag either missing or primer painted over. As well, the dash tag was missing. The painter was not very helpful in locating, so we'll definitely want to take a closer look at this in the pictures review. And then we see one of the first comments asking about that 2007 entry for an accident on the CARFAX. So that's why I say always review the comments first. This is going to give us a few items to verify in the pictures review. All right, let's jump into the pictures. I've mentioned that best in class when you're looking at an auction on Bring a Trailer is 100 pictures minimum. This one has 226 high quality professional photos, so seller's doing a great job representing this rare 1982 CJ-7 Jamboree. Look, like I've said, that level of detail gives you confidence you're getting a full representation of the vehicle. In my opinion, this can add to the overall value and confidence of the auction. Love this first picture showing the uniqueness of this Jamboree paint color. AMC made sure that topaz gold metallic was unique to this 1982 Jeep Jamboree. I've said this before, I am a big fan of originality with vintage four-wheel drives. I love how they kept this basically stock. With this picture 11, I do love this contrast with this urban setting. Nice picture here. I've been to that location. Looks like seller's going to give us a tour of Dallas. Speaking of icons, in this picture, you've got icon stacked against icon. You've got this beautiful rare 1982 Jambo, Pegasus, which is from Mobil Oil, and then also Dallas's Reunion Arena in the background. Another cool graffiti picture here. I love how this brings out this unique paint color. This is a nice one here with this natural light. This color just pops. Another awesome pic here with this iconic Jamboree Jeep and also this iconic Dallas skyline. I like this pic here. It looks like this Jambo's just kind of hiding out. It's going unnoticed. I'm sure that doesn't happen much. This obviously has nothing to do with this Jeep, but I did like this photography. It's pretty cool seeing this Jeep parked on the road like this with this train going through in the background. Really nice picture here. Really highlights the uniqueness of this paint color, but also your first kind of glimpse into the gold inserts in the seating that was unique to the Jamboree. I don't know, this could be that kind of rake or that camber that was mentioned in the comments. Minor chip on the hardtop roof. Little minor wear on this tub area of the Jeep CJ-7. So this one does look like it has a aftermarket steering wheel. I love these special edition seats with the gold inserts. So here you see the first shot of the Jamboree commemorative edition numbering plaque on the dash. This one is numbered 0674. I did find this on the Jambo registry in Dallas. Nice close-up shot of the Jamboree commemorative edition 0674 right here. Nice bird's eye view of the cabin here. This interior is in very good condition. All the seating surfaces appear to be in very good condition, but that is to be expected with this refurbishment. So jumping into the engine bay, we get a look at this 4.2 liter inline six. This picture starts the series of undercarriage photos. We did see in the listing, this one has been treated with the preventative anti-rust coating. Picture 160 starts the extensive photos of receipts and records for this 1982 Jambo Jeep. Picture 167 starts a series of photos of the refurbishment. We'll quickly go through a few of these just to understand the level of work that was done with this refurbishment. We can see in this picture here, it's primered, it's waiting for its new topaz gold metallic paint job. Here you can see them putting the dash back together. You can get a glimpse of that commemorative plaque. Some really nice work here with this paint job. So nice shot here. You can see the 1EN on the firewall VIN tag. Obviously, I think this is a before picture before the repaint. All in all, very beautiful refurbishment on an exceptionally rare Jeep. I think this is going to do very well on Bring a Trailer. From a pricing standpoint, consulting Bring a Trailer auction history, we have very little to go on here. As we discussed, this is a very rare Jeep with only an estimated 160 even still in existence. So consulting Bring a Trailer, we had one Jambo that sold in 2018 on Bring a Trailer for $13,000. But you got to understand that was a different era for CJ Jeeps altogether, so I don't think that's representative. A quick Google search to browse the current market, we have one listing for a restored Jambo on the King Corvette's website listed for $48,500. Now, based on recent Bring a Trailer CJ auctions, I'd say this one should be in line with that pricing, if not more. We just saw the recent restored Renegade auction that closed out at $46,000 last week, and this one is much more unique than that. I'd say this one gets points for the beautiful restoration and only minor detraction for the painted over 1EN special trim code on the firewall. Remember, this one has been confirmed authentic on the Jambo registry. So what do you think about this restored 1982 Jeep CJ-7 Jamboree 5-speed? We'd love to hear your feedback on pricing and condition in the comments. As I've said before, we are a new channel. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. This goes a long way to inspire the creation of future content. Thanks again for watching. See you next time for more vintage four-wheel drives.